Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Willie Lacalle. Yeah, it's been a while. Well, today we're going to have some fun with our jet ski. It's old Polaris 750, SL 750. I'll tell you all about the history about this thing as we get along, but today I just pulled it out of the pasture. I've had it parked for quite some time, and the plan is, kind of clean it up. If you've been around for a while, how I roll. I get out the power washer, and we get after it and we do our thing. So there's our power washer. It's a beautiful 100-degree day here in North Texas, and here's the jet ski, appropriately called Wet Willie. And yeah, she's rough, but we're going to start with power washing it just like we do everything else, and then kind of go from there and evaluate. And as you can see, it was 2004, and right now we're 2022. That's how long it's been since this thing has been in the water. Have we done anything with it? Just a little bit of history on it, and of course I'll fill you in on everything as we go along. But last time I had it out, blew a hole in one of the pistons, ordered the piston, replaced the piston. I never did torque anything down, so we're going to have to kind of go through that and backtrack a little bit, make sure that I recall everything I did. But I do recall pulling out the carburetors, and I purchased some rebuild kits for it, and that's kind of where all that's at. It's in a bucket somewhere, covered up, closed up, along with the rebuild kits. I think I broke them down best I can remember. Man, that seat is bad. That was reupholstered once before by my buddy Gio. This time maybe we'll try to do it ourselves. But I have a feeling she's going to clean up real nice. I've rebuilt the motor once before. I'll get into all that as we get along. And well, the little story here is yesterday I went to buy 2 new jet skis. Well, not new, but new to me. They were used. One was a Kawasaki STI 1100, and a Polaris 900, and it's about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive from here. I got probably halfway there, and an old boy called me up and said that he went to start one and had oil pouring out from it, and I got cold feet at that point. And man, I was very thankful that he was as honest as he was, because I hate to have gotten all the way there just to figure that out. But anyway, so I'm jonesing now. Man, I want to get in the water so bad. The pontoon boat, and y'all I'm sure been following all that. Pontoon boat's looking good. It's ready to get in the water. I just haven't had time to do it. This jet ski, I really just want to plug and play and go buy something, and 2 of them preferably, one with the triple seat that I've always wanted, with some high power that I can get somebody on there with me and make them feel like they're 16 years old again as we get crazy running through the waves in the water and back behind boats and acting a fool like we're little kids again. And these are cool, these are fun. I'm going to get it going mainly because I have it, and I need to get it in the water and have some fun with it. And man, we've got plenty years and years and years of enjoyment out of this thing. Watched some kids grow up playing with it. My kids grew up playing with it. I wore the thing out playing with it. So anyway, you get a good shot of what it looks like now. I'll show you here in a little bit what it looks like after I get her washed up. Here's my trusty little tractor that I pull my toys with. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop this right now, and I'll come back here in a little bit after I got her washed up. And I will say one thing. I opened up the seat just to take a peek in there, and guess what I found? A big old hornet's nest. And boy, they were mad. They come after me. Didn't get me, but I got rid of their nest. I think it's down here on the floor somewhere. Let's see. There it is, right there. There it is, right there. In fact, we're going to squish that thing all There you go. They don't come back for it. Alright, so like I said, we're gonna go ahead and finish this thing up and wash it, fire up the power washer and do our thing, and then we'll come back and see exactly what we have to play with. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright YouTube, so I want to show you just how well these things clean up. As you can see, this side I haven't done yet, and you can see all the mold and you know, whatever that little algae stuff is. It's all over there, you know, all over my poor little wet Willie sign. And well, you know, that stuff comes off. Don't be afraid of that. Look at here, look how clean this thing came. And that's just from a little bit of power washing. So you know, when you go to buy something, boat that's made out of fiberglass and it's been sitting for a while and it's got all that funky little growth on it, don't let that turn you off. That don't mean, you know, the end of the world. It don't mean nothing. It just means it's been sitting out for a while. That stuff will come clean. Look at the difference right there. Half and half, half and half. This side, and yeah, I'm gonna finish this side up here in just a second, and you know, you'll get to see what the whole enchilada looks like after it's clean. This plastic rub, whatever it's called, rub rail, man, that stuff comes clean the easiest. So, all right, let me go ahead and turn this thing off. I just want to show you here real quick that this thing will come clean. Look at the difference there. If there's hope for it, you know, I'll pull all these decals off, clean it up, put new decals on it. One of the things that I do remember though is whenever I took it up to the lake and I left it out all night sitting up on the bank, if it sat in the water straight, no problem. But if I parked it up on the bank with part of the butt out in the water, man, I'd wake up in the morning, come get in it, and it'd be swamped. It'd be all full of water inside, and that is what's caused the problems. You know, some of that water gets inside the carburetors get plugged, you starve one of the cylinders, next thing you know, it overheats and you burn a hole in the piston. You know, this thing's, when I rebuilt it, I did do the mods on it, if I recall correctly, and you know, when we open it up we'll verify all that. I definitely bypassed the oil pump. Now it's premix, and if I recall correctly, I removed the single line fuel pump and I put a triple in there. So you know, we'll revisit all that here in just a little bit. Again, I just want to show you how clean this thing comes from just a little bit. I mean, that's 5 or 10 minutes of power washing. So you know, that's nothing compared to, you know, the payback. See all that right in there? Yeah, all that's going to come off. Next time you see it, it's going to be just as white and shiny as the other side. So, alright, we're going to shut this thing off and we'll be back in just a little bit. Wet Willie's going to get back on the water. Right on. Alright, YouTube. We're done with the power washing. Man, she looks good. She looks good. You saw what she looked like earlier? Well, you know, all that crud, all that mold and algae and everything that was on there is off. And you know, this is acceptable, I guess. You know, I can go with this for another season or two. You know, of course, we're going to have to do something with the seat, but the seat shouldn't be a big deal, right? We learned how to reupholster. We've reupholstered all the seats in the pontoon boat. This looks like a piece of cake. In fact, you know, now we get to reupholster it to whatever color we want. So I'll look into seeing what our options are there. So you know, one more close-up look. Wet Willie, right on. So SL 750, I believe last time I rebuilt the motor, I personally rebuilt the motor. We bored it out. I took the jugs over to a place in Sherman, Texas that that does an awesome job with race cars, and you know, this is their forte, and they bored it out. They told me what piston to go buy. I bought the piston, so I think it's more like a 800, 850, something in there. And man, she ran good. She was running real good till it got swamped overnight, and we ran it, and you know, got, like I said, crud up in the carburetors, and starved the one of the cylinders, and burned a hole in the piston. And yeah, I'll probably have all that somewhere. Now, the time before that, oh man, we were out on the lake and this thing exploded. Boom! And you know, I'd never been into one of them before. I've done simple stuff on this one, but never got real deep into it. I mean, I had years. I'm going to say a decade. This is, I think, a 93, a 95, 96, 97, somewhere in there. I'll have to verify. It's been so long, I don't remember. And I think we bought it used. It was I don't know, $3,200 back in the 90s sometime, and I believe it had a rebuilt motor, or the motor had been rebuilt in it. And man, it ran flawlessly for a decade, maybe a decade and a half or two. And then you know, the swamping thing started happening, and well, like I said, it blew up when I bought it home, and I started digging into it and figuring out what happened. The cylinder had a, if I remember correctly, it was either the cylinder or the casing had blown a big old hole in it. The piston had completely disintegrated and melted, and you know, it's amazing that somebody didn't get hurt. But anyway, so I took the motor. I think I jacked up the crank. I don't recall for sure. I think it was just the casing. I used the same crank, and you know, just rebuilt it from scratch, and got all the parts on eBay used, and you know, the new stuff like the pistons and the rings and all that I bought from one of these hot shot Polaris jet ski places online. I'll get the name of them, because I was real happy with the service they gave me. You know, we just during the winter took my time, rebuilt it, put it in, and man, she fired right up, and we got a good year or two out of her until, you know, disaster happened again, and I'm gonna blame myself for that. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna stop this video here and find its parking spot where we're gonna, you know, break into there and leave her in the shade somewhere where we can work comfortably out of the sun. Like I said, it's 100 degrees here in North Texas, and it's just gonna get hotter and hotter. I believe it's June 21st, June 22nd, something like that. And you know, dog days of summer are on the way, and really what I want is to get in the water and get cool. See a little bit of crud back in there that I wasn't able to get. You know, that's part of it. When we finish up and wrap it up and do the final cleaning, we'll go over and get all the spots that we missed. But you know, one more time, one more look around. All the crud's gone. These turf mats, you know, I'm gonna definitely redo those. I meant to redo those last time. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because you know, they'd probably be rotted. That's original, by the way. This back piece here, I've got the original one off of it when it came off, and I glued it back on several times, and it never lasted, never held. But this stuff is so accessible now, you know, online and cheap compared to what it was back then, that yeah, if this thing runs, which you know me and what I'm about to say, I can fix anything. Hopefully that's the case here, and you know, we'll get it going and move on and get it in the water. You know, if nothing else, we'll get it ready and take it up to the lake house and store it in the shed where it's going to be out of the sun, so that when time comes and we're ready to start using it, it'll be ready to roll. I do want to open this thing up, man, because I guarantee you there's going to be wasp in there. Oh no, no. Oh, there's a wasp nest right there. Yeah. I don't see any wasps, but I bet you them little boogers are around somewhere. You know me, that's my biggest pet peeve. I hate wasps. So, alright y'all, this is where we're at, and you know where we're going. Let's have some fun with it. Thanks for joining me. See you in just a little bit when we find a little resting place. Alrighty, YouTube. So, we found her a nice little resting spot right here in the shady tree, and started kind of opening her up and looking at things. And here's all the parts that were in the front. Got them sitting up on top of my trusty little washer work table. And here's our gas tank. Seems to be empty. I hope it is. If not, well, you know, we'll empty it out and keep moving along. I pulled the nuts off of the PTO. Right, so magneto is up front where the electronics and the stator is, and PTO, best I remember, I have to go through my notes, but PTO is back here where the shaft comes out. I pulled the nuts off here and pulled the head off and verified that yes, we got a brand new piston in there and a brand new head gasket. So, you know, we'll blow this out and oil it down and all that. So I guess that's what I do remember is I did get the piston put in. I guess I got my my water exhaust jacket on, and you can see the intake where the carbs have come off. I may have to take this intake plate off and clean it, or maybe use the one that I've got laying around. So you know, just off the top of my head, all I'm lacking is, you know, a new battery, which I'm pretty sure the battery that was in here was dead, or you know, whatever happened to it, who knows, can't remember. Seems that all I have to do is just finish putting it back together, rebuild the carbs, put it on, put some gas in there, and fire her up along with the new battery. So payday is tomorrow, so I will order a brand new battery for her. I've got 2 new batteries for my 4-wheelers that I'm also working on in conjunction here. Let's kind of take a little trip over here. The little quad runner Suzuki 160 and a Yamaha, I don't know, 90, 100, little thing. They both had bad batteries. They've been sitting around for years not being used, and pretty sure I'm going to have to rebuild the carburetor. If not on both, at least for this one, because this one, it's always been a yearly thing. So this one here is kind of the one I use on the farm quite a bit. Run around chasing cows and fixing fences with. So yeah, that's where we're at here. A little bit further than I thought I was. I'm happy with that. I may take one of those batteries, put it in here, see if it's enough to fire this thing off. Really what I want to see is that it's clean inside, right? No gunk coming out, and if there is, get it all out of there. And you know, I shouldn't be too far as long as this thing's not locked up, which there's no reason it should be. It hasn't been wet, hasn't been sitting in the water, but you know, anything could have happened. Could have been wet. I could have drained it, put it up correctly. Who knows? It's been years and years since it's been sitting around. So just wanted to show you a little bit of the inside, and as soon as we have a game plan where we're going, I think I have one, the one I just mentioned. We'll see what it does. I believe I'm gonna take and jump a battery on here, maybe the one from the boat or from my car or from the tractor, and just turn this thing over with the plugs out and see what it does. I need to make sure it's not locked up. I'm almost certain. I mean, you know, 99.999% that it's not. And you know, start getting her back together. Hopefully it's not going to be that much work. You know, the engine's, for the most part, it is can't have more than 30 hours on it, if even that. Maybe 20 hours. It's just past, you know, past break-in, and we put it up, and the next year took it out and well, you heard the story already. So yeah, that's where we're at. Right on. I can't wait. Wet Willie, gonna ride again. Thanks for hanging with me. I'll keep y'all updated. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this one now. May get the jumper cables and put it on here and videotape this thing trying to crank over, and then again we'll figure out what's next from there. Whole lot easier to do now that we're here in the shade and got an idea of what's going on. You know, the gas lines, well, man, all that is new. All of that is brand spanking new. You may have old gas in it. I don't know. I can tell you that the mice had their way in here. Hopefully they didn't chew anything up important. Everything seems to be still under whatever wire loom. So yeah, I'll find the carbs. Like I said, I got them in a plastic made container with the lid on it, put up somewhere safe inside one of my storage buildings. Yeah, we'll see how that looks and what that needs. And rebuilding those Makuna carburetors. You know, this is a Fuji engine. Of course, if you're watching this, you know all that already. And these things are fun, man. They're easy to work on. I know them well. Getting them in and out, well, that's a little bit of a chore. But you know, once you get past getting it out and put it on a bench, man, they break down easy. They go back together real good. Parts are available. Well, they were. Let me reframe that. It's been years since I've done any of this. So, but yeah, parts are available, and or they were. Hopefully they still are. Surely they are. There's millions of these things out there, and man, they're easy to maintain if you have an inkling for that kind of thing. Otherwise, you're going to pay big bucks to somebody that's going to have their way with you. All right, YouTube, we'll talk again. Thank you.